Right as I was starting the stream, and before a calamity happened, which I had to take care of, there is breaking news. They are talking about 6-year plans. 6 years is a lot of years. For context, The Walking Dead peaked in its 5th year. So, if you can think about how big The Walking Dead is, that's what they're thinking about right now, which is insane. But obviously this isn't from Netflix, this is from the producers. So let's read through this, and we'll see what we see. Which, by the way, yes, it even in the second week, which is the biggest thing. I talked about this last time we talked about the season 2 scripts, right? The biggest thing for Netflix isn't the first week, actually. Well, I mean, the first week is usually indicative of the second week, right? But for them, the biggest thing is the drop-off. So if it's #1 for a couple of weeks in a row, that is a very, very good sign for renewals, because that indicates it doesn't have like a pull. It has retention, which for Netflix is the biggest thing because it is the binging model. If it grows, then that's just the biggest W you could have. So yes, it's doing very, very good. It's still, I believe, last I checked, it was in 40-something territories. It was #1. I might open it up later, but there was a clip that I never thought I'd see. I saw an Asmon Gold clip about One Piece, and I was like, okay, this is someone who doesn't talk about One Piece, and I was like, let's take a look. The title of it is Netflix One Piece is officially a certified banger. So I obviously got curious. What could this be? I guarantee if you haven't seen this, this is not what you expect. All right?
My dad was like, hey, you watch anime, right? You know what manga is? And I was like, yeah, what is it? This is what he said.
So like my dad was watching, just brought this up, Netflix, new show.
I read about it actually in the paper. It was about pirates and also,
Yeah.
that was always my top choice for it to be when I grew up. So I watched it. I'm enjoying the shit out of it. It's funny, and they've got a bunch of really cool ships, insane pirates.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm sorry about is it's only 8 episodes and I'm already on 6.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
I've been watching the shit out of it.
That was One Piece?
One Piece.
Yeah. There it is.
One Piece. For me, I think it's really, really good.
So yeah, there it is. So I figured it, yeah, like, so he was telling me this shit. This is like before we went to the, I think he had a doctor's appointment, it was like that day. And so I'm over at the house and he's like telling me about this. And yeah, he loved it, man.
This is absolutely insane to me. Of all the people I would hear randomly bring up One Piece, Asmongold's dad. It's like, one of my friends who watched One Piece a long time ago suddenly brought it up. He messaged me and he's like, oh my god, did you see Netflix is doing One Piece? And I'm like, yes, I've been following it for a long time, but I haven't had anyone like just randomly stumble upon it yet. But this is just to illustrate how big it has actually gotten. The fact that people not knowing anything about it are just like, yeah, that was really good. I think like I said, a season 2, big probability. Follow-up based on Cowboy Bebop, which didn't go beyond 1 season. Yes. 2 veteran TV producers also discussed making use of pirate ships originally built for stars as black sails. You should watch Black Sails. By the way, they also have people who filmed Black Sails to do like the ship shots. It's the same people. They specialize in, I guess, pirate stories. It's very good. Status of season 2, but One Piece is believed to have finished scripts in anticipation of a likely renewal. Yes. One can never really predict the success of a series these days, but is this close to what you were hoping for in terms of reaction to One Piece and viewership numbers? It was not totally unexpected, yes, because we really love the series. I was about to say, like, yes, obviously predicting things, especially things that just suddenly pop off, is basically impossible nowadays. I mean, One Piece did have a very, very strong intrinsic pull, So, if you actually made it good, then I don't think this is really totally unexpected. Who weren't necessarily expecting something as good as they got. I'm one of them. I am one of them. I went into it very, very sad, but then they started putting things out and I was converted. People in the office have shown us a lot of TikTok. By the way, yeah, apparently One Piece is super big on TikTok. Unfortunately, I usually meme about me being a zoomer, so I don't like things that are old. But in this case, I'm a boomer because I do not use TikTok. I do not. I have an account on TikTok. I think I posted like 6 videos. It's literally just clips from the main YouTube channel, and then I quit. I just gave up. I don't do TikTok, but apparently it's really big there. Oh, let's look at this. Cowboy Bebop was the live-action anime adaptation that you referenced earlier. Obviously, Netflix had faith in you, trusting you with another anime-based series. What are some of the lessons you learned from the experience that you applied to One Piece? Okay. Here's what we learned. You have to have a buy-in from the creator. The creator of Cowboy Bebop did not want anything to do with it. Not that he was disagreeable about it, he just didn't want to be involved. It's not what he wanted to do. I think so, to an extent, but I think this is just like, if you have the creator, because I think you can make something great, even if the original creator is not involved. I don't know if it's a hot take, but I think if someone like that truly understands the message of the story tries to do it, I don't really think you need the original creator involved. I think having the original creator involved is just like translating, basically, what he was trying to do, or what they were trying to do, you know? I think it's that sort of deal. But I think the main lesson was Cowboy Bebop was an adaptation. With One Piece, we learned that you have to stay very close to the characters that the creator created, that people wanted to see Luffy as Luffy and embody all the characteristics that he had. I mean, this is kind of true, but also kind of not, because it remained faithful. It just remained faithful in the wrong ways, I think. Stayed much closer, in fact, as close as we could. I mean, this is like surprised Pikachu face. Imagine taking something, you know, people enjoy, replicating it, and, you know, just fixing some things, changing some things to fit the medium, and people like it. Who could have expected that? A world-building show like One Piece is a major undertaking. What were the biggest production challenges in Season 1? Challenges were obviously scope, yes. And keep in mind, this is the East Blue, when the big world hasn't revealed itself yet. This is like back when we didn't have random cutaways to somewhere else in the world where we see the biggest thing go down, and we literally have no idea what this even is. You know, this is still early days, and the world is already huge. Netflix, you better, you know, when you were going to shoot there, because Chris Simmies, our executive producer, produced Black Sails, and he built many pirate ships for that series. Go and watch Black Sails. Like, seriously. If you haven't seen Black Sails, go and watch Black Sails. A couple of them in place already that we knew we would have an advantage and be able to refurbish. Yes. Is known for... Okay, this is where we get into the really, really interesting stuff. Netflix is known for meticulously analyzing viewership data and rarely gives out quick renewals, but I assume you have hopes for a second season. Which, by the way, I don't like my favorite shows getting cancelled as much as the next guy. Okay? But there is a very simple truth that people need to accept. When a show is cancelled, it is because of money. Like, no matter how much you enjoy the show, no matter how good a show is, if people are not watching it, it will get cancelled. It's as simple as that. Everyone involved shares the same goal, money. So, you know, a lot of these shows that people really enjoy and they get cancelled, what I hear is retention is the biggest problem. For some reason. Usually it's not really easy to figure out exactly why with a certain series, but whether it's how they write arcs and they don't keep people hooked or something like that. We have hopes for 12 seasons. There is so much material. We have plans with Matt Owens for how we would break multiple seasons, and I think even if we did 6 seasons, we would probably only use half of the chapters of the manga. It really could go on and on. So basically, they're saying like, yeah, we're gonna do 100 chapters per season. Again. Okay. But do you have at least 6 seasons in you? Oh yeah, easy. Well, I mean, the only problem I can see is everyone, like, aging. 6 years. You know, 6 years is a long time. Very, very long time. Luckily, One Piece doesn't have many young characters, so that's not really a big problem, as it was with something like Carl in The Walking Dead, or even like Game of Thrones, right? Where people just age unrealistically. So that's not really a problem, but 6 years is still a long, long time to commit to a single project. But you never know. You never know. You mentioned plans with Matt Owens. What can you say about them and the path for the next seasons? Everything we do is in concert with Netflix. I still don't know how to say this word, by the way. We're just not going to. And Oda, we've definitely had more thorough conversations about what we would do with Season 2 when we'd have the opportunity. Well, I mean, the scripts are written, so, you know. And then less extensive conversations about where we'd go for Season 3 to 6. I still think... Which, by the way, if we go back to this, right? Quick renewals. I am going off of purely memory, so don't take this as any sort of even indicative of a fact. I think the fastest renewal Netflix has was like 13 days. I remember something like that. But I think there have been with Netflix renewals for multiple seasons. I'm pretty sure Stranger Things got one. And I'm also 100% certain that Dragon Prince got 4 seasons greenlit. So I don't know. I think we should hear something very soon. Momo, stop chewing the I think aging should not be a problem. They can let age characters through traveling. Only problem would be old characters, Garb 5 Elders. Yeah, and that's something I wish they do. I wish they actually make, like, you know, time a thing. Because I feel like the passage of time in the anime and manga is broken. Like, it makes no sense. Like, let's be real. The fact that all of pre-time skip is like a few months is insane to me. It is and the fact that post-time skip is like 3 weeks? What? What? That whole thing is insane. I wish they just literally say, and then we sailed for 2 weeks. Something like that. Alright, let's return to what I was talking about a minute ago. We're all unified in parts of the manga that you absolutely cannot eliminate. Well, that's good to hear. And that's our guiding principle. The stories that we know and the characters we know are important to the fans. Yes. What does revealing the shadowy figure teaser... I mean, that's Smoker. Likely Captain Marine Smoker mean for Season 2. It is Smoker. By the way, why doesn't anybody die in the show? There were deaths. The end of the season leads to the next natural chapter for the manga. That's what that indicates. That was an idea that we wanted to give fans a little stepping stone, something they recognize that indicated where we might be heading. That was very intentional and something that we added after filming because we wanted to indicate that we have a plan creatively that we thought would please the fans. And that was only filmed in March. Okay. You spoke of staying very close to the original with the characters, but you did update the show's theme for the anime. Yes, we did. We brought our composers on really early. They did The Witcher for Netflix. We always talk about... I mean, this is something like... This is kind of a bit of a bizarre point for me, because, like, you know, sticking close to the original characters is kind of a given for a story, but changing the music is kind of better fitting the creative vision. Also, this show is sort of based off of a manga, inherently not the anime. So this is kind of a weird thing to linger on, but why not, I guess. By the way, I know a lot of people are kind of disappointed that there's not a lot of, you know, the signature tracks, like Overtaken and all that. I am perfectly fine with them using motifs of it. I actually think it's better. Not just because my Spotify playlist is now the One Piece music. I now have each and every track of the live-action One Piece in my main... I call it the Wacky Goofy Shuffle. It is like hundreds of completely random songs, and I play them on shuffle. So I sometimes get really sad, I sometimes get really happy, and I sometimes get like really hyped up. It's that sort of playlist. You never know what to expect. But yes, I think it's good that they made a new sort of a theme and a new OST and everything. I think that is a big W. I want them to use motifs throughout, like we saw with We Are. But I don't want them to just reuse the same music. I think it would like be really, really weird. Even some of the music that is used in the anime feels outdated now compared to everything else. So I almost wish that parts of those were also updated, especially the sound effects. Some of the sound effects in the series feel like they are still from 2004. That's going off on another tangent. All right. Ooh. Any other anime or manga properties you are looking to adapt for TV? We've got a library full of manga that we bought in Japan. Incredible. We have writers attached who are not currently working because of the strike. We believe in as much as possible writing in-house and then going out at least half season already written. Okay. By the way, I've also mentioned this before, but there is a thing that these studios have. I forget what their like technical term is, but they were like small rooms or something like that. I am almost willing to bet that Netflix has a lot of banked up scripts for things like strikes. By the way, I recommend looking into this because you know how you sometimes hear that Netflix has bought like an IP and then it just fades into obscurity. Chances are a lot of them actually had a whole season written, but they just never were made. So at some point, maybe they'll resurface. Because I know like Steins Gate, I don't think it was Netflix. But someone bought rights to Steins Gate, and someone also bought rights to Sword Art Online. That was Netflix, definitely. Neither one has been made. Neither one has had a single piece of information about them in years. So I kind of refuse to believe that they were in production for that long and not even scripts were written. So I do think that there is a chance that, you know, a bunch of these things are already in the books, but they're just not being made actively. Basically, the takeaway is that we are thinking about 6 seasons, which is a lot of seasons. 6 seasons, what would that be? So that is like chapter 600, right? That is... Oh, that is Marineford. All of pre-timeskip, I presume? I think 600 is already in the... Yeah! Like, broadly speaking, all of pre-timeskip is 500-something chapters. Isn't that it? Would they really... like, no shot. Like, if you're going that deep into the story, no shot you're just stopping after Marine... Imagine if live-action One Piece ends with Luffy just being broken. You know, like, the last shot is, I still have my crew, and the show ends with him just being shattered into a million pieces, alone, on Amazon Lily. I don't want that. I don't want that. Realistically, I think right now, Season 2 is in the bag, 100%. Season 2 will basically decide whether they captured lightning in the bottle, or there will be more. I think Seasons 2 and 3 are sort of... They have a very, very good chance. Simply because, like, the mass of people watching One Piece is that big. I think just, like, the sheer number of people willing to tune in, and they've already got, like, a lot of good faith now. A couple of seasons I can see. You know, it's the usual WoW thing. You never want to put out 2 bad World of Warcraft expansions in a row. That will kill the game. One expansion, though. Oh boy. You mess up one, and then you do a good second one, everyone's like, yes, best game ever. And I feel like that's the same thing with this. If they mess up somehow Alabasta, and then there's still a Season 3, which would be what? After Alabasta, that's Water 7, right? Actually, no, it's Skypiea, never mind. So I have Skypiea. Yeah, that might be a bit messy. Well, anyway. I do think they have a couple of seasons in the bag, basically. Interesting to see them talk about it, like, quite confidently, though. Scripting in 3 to 6. That's not something you see regularly. I feel like Skypiea would benefit from live action, faster pacing, 100%. Can you imagine Skypiea happening in 2 episodes? It would be like the most hyped thing of all time. It would be glorious. I'm just like wondering, like, because after Alabasta, things get kind of messy. You know, because all of East Blue is basically the Nami saga. Like, broadly speaking, right? All of the East Blue is assembling the crew, and then our first stress test is what happens to Nami. Then Season 2 would be Alabasta, and we get our first, like, huge conflict. But how do you structure Season 3? What is, like the pillar theme of Season 3? Because Season 4 is Robin and Water 7. That is perfect. Absolutely no problems there. But if they do Season 3 like a very loose, like, exploration and legends, well, now they can, you know, now they can retroactively add a lot to Skypiea. Because, you know, maybe Cricket will get a bigger role. Well, yeah, now that I think about it, I think you can actually... They can actually make Skypiea into the basement moments of Attack on Titan, basically. With like, how retroactively important it is. And if people still debate, you know, like, how important the foreshadowing in Skypiea is, then in live action, they can make it so blatant, and just so much of it, that it's like, in live action, it's 1,000,000% planned, because we know exactly where it leads. So actually, Skypiea could be a bigger thing, yeah. I wanted to make a video about this. I still might. But can you imagine casual audiences seeing Sabaody in live action? Can you genuinely imagine what that would look like in live action? If they literally just end a season with the entire crew of this goofy pirate story being wiped out. I think that would make mainstream news everywhere. I think that would literally be a Game of Thrones moment, and I'm not even exaggerating. I think it would be insane. But yes, things are looking good. You know, obviously, again, I say this all the time, do not take any of this as concrete evidence. We do not have the data. Netflix does. So until we hear a concrete solution, not a solution, but a concrete confirmation, let's not get hyped. That said, there's definitely a Season 2 coming. 100%. Also, hold on, since we're talking about this, let me bring up a funny, goofy tweet. So I put out the One Piece video on the main channel as well, right? And this is a comment I got. To give you some quick lore, don't read it just yet. To give you some quick lore, right? Usually I put out videos in the evenings, then I wake up and I check how they're doing, you know? I try my best not to watch it constantly because that's very unhealthy. But, you know, I like big number, so sometimes I do. So I wake up, this is the first thing I see in the morning, and this pops out to me, right? Because it's a bit of a long boy, and usually when you have long boys, it's either something very good or something very, very bad. And those are the type that attract my attention, okay? What an amazing coincidence that dozens of indie creators and media outlets all started using the term broke the curse, which, by the way, people have been using for literal years when describing any sort of adaptation, simultaneously to describe One Piece. It's almost like Netflix distributed that talking point and is paying people to say it, and all these videos are just thinly veiled Netflix ads. And I responded with about 15 skulls. So Netflix, where is my money? I was paid, and I was given this talking point of the live action curse broken. Where is my money? They promised me $130 million. I haven't seen a single cent. By the way, this person is clearly the fact that someone found my video, which at this point had at most a couple thousand views, like literally, I think this was 3 hours ago, right? And this was when I woke up. So this must have been 4 hours after it was uploaded, something like that. This was in the middle of the night for me. So this was not at all like super late when the video is already picking up in the algorithm or anything. So this dude finds my video and comes up with the most unhinged possible idea known to man. Actually types it out and is like, yes, Koroto actually corrupt. I've been paid to talk about this, and every single person who uses the phrase broke the curse isn't actually just doing the usual YouTube clickbait thing, because it is like very high SEO. It is just lingo, you know, breaking the anime curse. This has been a thing with live action adaptations for years. No. Netflix is paying everyone. So like I said, Netflix, Mr. Netflix, where are my $130 million? And I've already signed a forward contract with live action Avatar as well, for the low price of $100 million.